Welcome back to The Inspired Entrepreneur with Heather Hope. Hey guys, welcome back. This is Heather Hope with the Inspired Entrepreneur podcast. Happy Wednesday to you. Okay, so I just took a glance and I remember what it is. Today's is going to be long. Not long. It's a long message, but we'll see. Okay, so if you're new here, my name's Heather Hope and I teach the law of attraction, or I talk about it mostly regarding business. Actually about everything, but about business here. This podcast is based off of the book, The Inspired Entrepreneur. It's on Amazon. It's 366 days of inspiration for the business owner, which means the law of attraction, which means I talk about mostly Abraham Hicks. If you're an Abraham Hicks fan, welcome. If you're not, but you're into the law of attraction, I highly recommend listening to every single thing you can get your hands on and get a deeper understanding of the universe. It's really cool. Okay. And if you're not new, thank you for always being here, guys. I appreciate you all. Come over to YouTube. I post this on my YouTube channel with the same name every morning. So if it's easier to check me out on YouTube, go there. At least you can leave comments. You can give me a like. You can share it with your friends, whatever you need to do. I find it a lot easier personally. And maybe it's not easier. I'm just not a podcast person. I just like to talk. So there you go. Okay. So let's jump into today's, because it's a longer one. I kind of remember writing about this back in the day when I wrote this. Okay. So March 24th, there never has to be a sales conversation or trying to close a client. These are quote unquotes. Trying to close a client. When you decide what you want, the universe lines up the perfect clients for you. You never, ever, ever, ever have to ever convince anyone to work with you. The way it works is that everyone just knew they wanted to work with me. It's a knowing. We are connected energetically. I've never made a rule to have sales calls, so I never had to do them. Everything else complicates it all. All the sales stuff you are learning out there is completely complicating, making things easy for you. There you go. Okay. Basically, what I want to add to that is, if you want it to be easy, take out all the other crap. If you want this to be easy, if you want your business to be easy, meditate every single morning. Meditate. That's your pathway to success. I mean, people have written books about all the success habits of millionaires and billionaires, and majority of them do meditate. So, I mean, in the human world out there, these people are understanding a certain level of relaxation, being one, all that good stuff, right? So if you want things to be easy, do it this way. If you want it to be complicated, listen to everybody out there and then try to implement it and go against your greater knowledge and go against and all that, right? Introduce the resistance. So I remember the last couple of Abraham workshops that I went to last year, I was learning about what did they say marketing was. That marketing essentially means manipulating. So, and there's some really good marketers out there. Some really good marketers. It's almost fascinating to me. I say almost because most of the time I just don't care. I don't really want to even think about it anymore. You know what I mean? So it's almost interesting how well people can sell things to people. And basically, if it has anything to do with making money, that's all they have to focus on is the money. I just left a course because it just got so, like, it's 90% about the money. and not about the actual job. And it was just grossing me out because I'm like, and people were just doing a ton of work and hustling and grinding because that's what the coach was saying. That's what the mentor was saying. And I was just so against it. And, I protect the message that's coming to my mind or coming to me, right? I protect myself. I don't listen to people who have the mindset of that way. It's like my body rejects it. Like I repel against it when I hear it. I'm like, nope, don't resonate. Nope. If you tell me this is going to be really hard and I'm going to really push you or all these things, or you got to work really hard, nothing that was worth anything, comes easy. Oh my freaking God. If I could slap them. Seriously. And then people are just, running themselves into an early grave with all the resistance that they're doing. I know a person right now who is doing a million things and running around like a crazy person trying to provide for his family. And, he had to take some time off because he was burning out completely. And I'm like, well, I know why. And then a couple days later, he's like, oh, I'm doing better. I just had to take some time off. And I'm like, dude, you have to take time off every single week or every single day. Every single day you have to take time off. Because what is the point? Like I go on this little rant about this, about what is the point of making a ton of money, but having a ton of resistance? Because you can obviously you can make a lot of money and working really hard. You can, right? If you're doing the right thing, if you're doing something that does pay and you're working really hard, like doing a lot of it, you can make a lot of money, whatever it is, right? But what's the point of having all this money and then you're dying from all this resistance and you can't enjoy it because you're just working all the time? Like, what is the point? I don't get it. I'd rather not go that route because I just don't see the sense in it. If I don't see the sense in it, I just sit here and do something else. So it just doesn't make sense. It's like, what's the point? So you're providing for your family. I would find a different way to do it. Like just knowing the circumstance, it's like I would do something more lucrative. Personally, I'm just really about the high, like things that make a lot of money. I'm about that. Like minimal amount of time that makes a lot of money. Like if I'm going to pursue a career, which I, obviously lots of them, but like I'm not about making things that don't make money or doing things that don't make money like right away. That's just me. That's me. So when I look at stuff, I'm like, no, what's the point? I'm such a Taurus. I'm just like, I'm good. Because, my lifestyle, I'm taken care of very well. It dawned on me how well I'm taken care of by the universe, by everybody who's in my universe, everybody who's in my world. I'm taken good care of. And I hadn't seen it before. I did not see it. Like there's people, there's good things, but really, honestly, I'm well taken care of. And that has been a lot of letting go and a lot of meditation and a lot of feeling good about myself and letting go, especially for me, letting go of this notion that everything is on me and I have to take care of everything and blah, 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 blah. And I had to let a lot of that go and allow the universe to take care of me, which means a lot of people take care of me without me ever asking. I don't ask anybody for anything. But things are just now, things are being taken care of. It's pretty cool. So anyway, let's get back to our message for today. So this week, like I said yesterday, this week is going to be good. So tomorrow, so a little bit of this is going to be part of the message for tomorrow. So tomorrow is you get to set the rules in your business. So today in this, I had written, I've never made a rule to have sales calls, so I never had to do them. Okay, so when I was a coach, it's taught, right, in a lot of these online businesses is that you message people, you cold message people and try to get them to be your client. Like I learned all this when I was in numerous MLMs, which I'll never touch again. But when I was, and I hated it. It's like cold calling, right? Cold messaging. Hated it because I hated being sold to. Or just like this disguise of like, let me get to know you. I'm really curious about you, which nobody is, right? But in the end, I'm going to try to sell you. Cut to the chase, or just don't message me at all. So I just didn't like it. It feels gross. So when I was a coach, I'm like, sales calls, but I'm not doing cold messaging either. I am not reaching out to other people. This was me back then. I'm not reaching out to other people. When people find me through attraction, because I'm connected and I'm receiving messages. I'm receiving the thoughts of what to do with my messaging, what to do with my posts, where to share them, what to say, all these things. I'm putting it out there so my perfect clients will attract it. And when they find me, they're like, oh, who's this person? Oh, I like what she says. Oh, let me follow her. Oh, let me like all her posts. Let me friend request her. And I would sit here and I would watch people do this every day. I sat here and watched it. It was like almost like a game. I watched people like a bunch of my posts, share a bunch of my posts, make comments. And when they friend requested me, I knew in that moment, either I knew before the moment they friend request me that they were going to do that, or as soon as they friend request me, I knew they were going to be my next client. I knew it was a knowing. So like this thing says, it's a knowing. When people know they want to work with me, they know it. When I know somebody's going to work with me, I know it. I nailed it several times. Like Roger would say, who's that? And I'll be like, that's my next client. And I'm telling you, within 24 hours, they were signed up with me. And what did I do? I sat back and watched it. I watched it unfold so many times. It was so fun. This is back when listen to yesterday's. If you did not yet, listen to yesterday's. It was like 40 minutes, really good stuff about business and alignment and allowing things to be on autopilot and allowing the universe to work on your behalf, basically. And all your job is to get into alignment and follow the thoughts that come in your mind. Like, that's it. So during that time, right, of momentum, that's what it's called. I didn't even use that word at all yesterday, but momentum gets faster and faster and faster where, I get up to 200 likes on my page in a day. I get 50 group requests in a day, every day. I get hundreds of email opt-ins. All of this, it was momentum, and it just was going for weeks and weeks and weeks. But during that time also, that meant I had a lot of followers following me, like new people. And so I would sit here at my desk and I would just look at the numbers go up and look at the reach and look at the shares and really, I put a lot of energy in my page, The Millionaire Manifester. I put a lot of energy. Like yesterday I mentioned that I don't put any energy at all. I don't even check on the page hardly ever. It's just not something I'm working on. So it's just sitting there. I have posts to it all day, every day, but it's not something I'm growing. I'm just keeping it parked there just in case one day I want to do something with it. If not, I'm not going to throw it away. I've thought about it, but I was like, no, don't do that. But the momentum builds and more things manifest. So my thing this was my rule in my business. So we'll talk more about this tomorrow. But one of my rules, I had a list of them. One of my rules was people reach out to me. When they want to work with me, they'll reach out to me. So there you go. I didn't have to make any calls. I never did a sales call. I never did anything. So people just knew. I put out enough content so people could just get to know me or read my post or, because I wrote more. And then there's times that I did Facebook Lives, whatever I felt inspired to do, which I might be doing more in the future. I don't know. As I was thinking about building a YouTube studio. And today came up, what if I did it downstairs? So I have a basement that used to be my counseling office. It was going to be my YouTube studio, but the acoustics suck down there. So I would have to work on it. But because I have got this bug to paint somewhere for a new studio because the lighting in my office is too bright and it's crowded in here. I've got so much going on in my office that I'm going to expand to another room. But downstairs might work. It was just an idea. Painted it really dark gray and bright white. I love that. But anyway, I don't know. We're supposed to be moving. So part of me is like, well, anyway, I don't know. So, anyhow, so I put this stuff out there and people found it and, people attracted it and they followed me and they just went through this whole thing until they signed up for my program. And all I had to do was get into alignment and follow inspiration. And then clients would show up. That's all I had to do. And stay positive, right? Get into alignment, stay positive, don't get discouraged, do everything in my power to feel good, which there's lots of moments I didn't feel good. Lots of moments. I still have moments. Like, days are long. I still have moments. Sometimes I have moments during every day. I just have like this moment of like, either maybe I'm too tired, I woke up too early, or I lost interest in something. So I'm kind of bored, that bored feeling. I hate it. Like, I really despise it. But, cause then it leads to like irritation and frustration. And that's when I'm like, okay, go do something, Heather. You got to get out of this place. So anyway, let's get back to the message today. Make sure I covered everything because it's so long. There never has to be a sales conversation or trying to close a client. Basically, my very first one-on-one client watched. Okay, so this is what's funny. So what my first one-on-one client when I was a law of attraction business coach back 2 years ago, she messaged me and she's like, I watched your 1.5 hour Facebook Live on the Millionaire Manifester, and I just know I want to work with you. She messaged that to me. I'm like, oh, awesome. And she's really cool. And so she was just she needed to manifest the money. That's all. But we didn't have to ever get on the phone. Ever. We didn't get on the phone until she became my client. She just knew. She knew. And she just, we're still friends now. She's an amazing, amazing person. So it was really great. But the thing with that is I told her, because I have the Heather Hope page, which is where that's where I wrote my posts. The Millionaire Manifester is completely just graphics, just the memes and stuff. That's it. So I separated the two. So Heather Hope is where I write, and that's who the coach is, right? So when I recorded, I normally at that time, this is what I did. I only recorded Facebook Lives inside my group. So it was private. I wasn't like this outward person. I didn't really write on that page yet at that time. I did that later on. So I kept everything in my group. And so I did this Facebook Live. And let me tell you, I accidentally, quote unquote, posted it to the Millionaire Manifester page because they were both named the same thing, the group and the page. Sometimes it got confusing. My husband was confused all the time about it. So I accidentally, air quotes here, accidentally did the live on my public page, my business page, instead of inside my group. And this girl, I call everybody girls, but she's a woman. I call women girls all the time because I think it just sounds young, and women just sound so old, but they're not. But you know what I mean? So this girl saw this somehow. She lives in another country way over in Europe. And she saw this Facebook Live, watched the whole thing, resonated completely, messaged me and said she wanted to work with me. She knew she wanted to work with me. She just needed to manifest the money. And I was like, oh, that's so funny, because that video was supposed to be in the group. She probably wouldn't have ever saw it. So anyway, it was just one of those things of like, the universe knows what it's doing. Leave it alone. It knows. It knows. There's no accidents, right? It knows. So leave it alone. If there's an accident, quote unquote accident, leave it alone. Unless it's like something you really, there's exceptions, I'm sure. But there are no accidents. So, and she did, and she was my client, and that's cool. So I didn't have to do anything. There was no sales conversation. I did a Facebook Live that I felt inspired to do. I posted it, but it went live out in the world. She saw it. She watched it. There was no, I don't think there was any sales in that video. I don't even know what it was about. I don't know. But it gets to be that easy. It gets to be that easy. When you decide what you want, the universe lines up the perfect clients for you. You never, ever, ever, ever have to ever convince anyone to work with you. If you have to convince somebody, you're manipulating them. And I love that. Marketing like that, like trying to get somebody to work with you, trying to get somebody to buy your product, trying to convince them is manipulation. Go to Abraham and look up manipulation or marketing or something like that. I can tell you it was spoken about in the San Francisco, the very last San Francisco that Abraham had. It was in there. Like, I started really listening to this manipulation thing because it had everything to do with me and my business. Being like this vibrational marketing person, I needed to know what marketing really was. And it's trying to convince somebody. So whoever's vibration is the strongest wins. I love that. Whoever has the strongest vibration in the room wins that room. Marketers have, if they're really powerful marketers, they're winning the room by their vibration, by the words that they're speaking, right? They're all of these things to convince you. Well, my vibration is pretty strong when it comes to marketers. I instantly put up walls all over the place. I'm like, no, go away. I can't stand it. Blah. It like drives me crazy. So, but every once in a while it gets me. They pull the right string, it gets me. It sucks. But anyway, so the way it works is that everyone just knew they wanted to work with me. It's just a knowing. We are connected energetically. So all you're doing is lining up with your client. So this is how I see things with business. I see that I have ideas of solutions for people based on the fact that energetically people have asked for that solution. This is how people create or invent or create a new product or something, right? They get this idea. People get an idea. Usually just comes to them, right? They're in the shower or they're driving down the freeway. They get an idea. They're like, oh my God, that's such a good idea. It's literally because there's probably thousands of people on this earth that have been asking for that solution. So when you ask, it's given, right? And so the idea is out there, that thought, right? That thought form, and you pick it up in this one whiff of, what's it called? In that one whiff of alignment. You're in the shower in the car, my two favorite places to be. You get the idea. You're like, oh, that's a good idea. Okay, so when you get this great idea that you're excited about, guess what? You have clients already. They've already asked for this product or whatever it is that you just invented or thought about. They're out there. They're already lined up for you. That's why you got the idea. They asked, the idea was given to you, or you had the idea, right? You manifested the idea based on your wanting to do something, and it's going to fulfill some of your wishes. So the last thing you need to do is talk to anybody that's going to be like, well, you got to do some market research and you got to see if it's a viable product and you got to see all this bullshit and you have to, you know, because they will try to kill it. Oh, I don't know if that's going to work. That just seems really out there. I don't know if anybody's going to pay for that. And I don't know. And I don't know. And I don't know. Right. You got to stop doing that. Stop consulting with people like that. Really don't consult with anyone. So if you feel strongly about it and you're excited about it, guess what? It's a home run. What you don't do is kill it with your doubt, kill it by other people's doubt, kill it by all the questions that everybody's going to ask and their doubts and their belief systems, their mindset, their limiting mindset. And keep getting into alignment. Now, here's one thing that I've learned way off in the beginning is this. So we get an idea, right? We get this amazing idea. We're like, oh my God, this is so cool. So you get this excitement. And what do you want to do with it? You want to run. You want to run so fast to figure it out. This was me, and almost everybody does this because we're human and we want to do it. So, and I know coaches, even coaches that are all into this manifestation stuff, say, oh, you got to jump on it. You just got to keep moving with it. You got to jump on it. You got to figure it out because, oh, thoughts have expiration dates. Bullshit. They do not. Jesus. This is why I don't follow humans anymore, because they make up shit that doesn't make any sense at all when you really know the laws of the universe. But it's like, no, the idea never goes away. It's not a one-hit wonder. It's not. It's always going to be there in your life. Trust me, I've got these ideas that came to me years ago that are now possibly coming true now. And I'm like, holy crap, I thought of that. I had this whole thing planned out 2 years ago. And now it came back again in full force in a really much better way. I'm like, holy crap. Seriously, I hadn't thought about this in 2 years. And now it's right back. Everything led me back to it. And I'm like, ideas never go away. Don't ever have that fear. No fear. Jesus. So this is when people read too many books in too many subjects by too many human authors. And then they mix them all together and then they try to make a truth out of it. And it's like, I'm sitting here 100% Abraham. Like, you just mixed up 10 different theories, 10 different authors, 10 different law of attraction people who have their own personal stuff in it. And oh my gosh, you just screwed up the whole thing. And some of my clients listen to them. And then they come to me and I'm like trying to decipher through it all. And I'm like, you got to stop listening to these people. You got to, please just listen to Abraham. You don't even have to listen to me, please. Just listen to Abraham for like 30, 60 days straight. No one else. Then you'll figure this out. Then you can manifest everything you want. You got to detox from all the other stuff. It's confusing the message. Huge thing for me that everybody's confusing the message. And so it just slows everybody down. Anyway, so you get this wonderful, amazing, exciting idea and you just want to run with it and make it happen right now. So you go to Google and you look up how to do all these things. And then you see all these details and you're like, holy crap, I don't know. Jeez. Wow. And then you start having this doubt and this anxiety of like, oh, I don't know. It's not ready yet. The idea is not ready yet. It's not. Because if you have to figure it out, it's not ready. Does that make sense? It's a huge thing. It's a huge deal. So what you do, and this might be hard for a while because I've had to practice this. It's basically patience of, I got the idea. It's really cool. It's really exciting. It's in my vortex. Now my job is to just line up with it. Relax. Allow more details to come to you. Come to you. They will come to you. Or you'll have more ideas along the way. of it'll come back in your mind again in a few days or a couple weeks or a month later. The thing will come back in your mind. And then you think about something to look up, or you think about something to do. And then the thing that you need for the next thing is right there. Does that make sense? So the last thing you want to do is jump on it right away and try to make it happen because it's not ready yet. The path of least resistance is not, let me go to Google and try to figure out how to do this now. Trust me, I've been doing this for a long time. That's what I was doing. And I had to chill the heck out because it was limiting everything. It was making everything harder because then I go to try to figure it out and then it might seem really hard or a lot of work or money or things that I'm not ready for. And then I got discouraged. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I can do this. That's not the path of least resistance, and that's not the way to go. So be excited about the idea. Like, oh, this is so cool. So like for me, I've got all these ideas, guys. And so one of them came up 2 years ago. I had this whole thing that I created really practically instantly of this vision. And it has to do with real estate and coaching and law of attraction coaching. So trust me when I say, when I become a realtor, I am going to teach the law of attraction for realtors. And this is a program, it's similar to a program that I created 2 years ago through a bunch of thoughts, a bunch of inspiration, a lot of excitement. And now it's just in a slightly different form with a company with, revenue share and all this stuff. But it's going to be one of these things I do as part of my real estate business. But it's coming. And I want to do YouTube videos and I want to do all this. So the last few days I've been like wanting to build a YouTube studio and start filming videos about this. And I'm like, Heather, you're not even a realtor yet. So I'm like, okay, so that shows to me I'm not ready because it's proof I'm not ready to do this yet because I don't have a bunch of things lined up yet. There's some gaps here, right? I'm not even a realtor. I haven't sold anything yet this year, these funny things that I probably need to do, right? But I've been thinking about doing videos on this channel, right? I've been talking about that. So I'm like, okay, so I'm kind of just playing with these ideas of like, where is this leading me to? Just vague, right? I'm like, well, let's see. I feel inspired to find a good filming space. I pulled out all these things. I've been accumulating camera equipment and filming equipment and lighting and all these things for years to be a YouTuber. I've been wanting to be a YouTuber for years. So I've got a closet full of equipment. And it's really funny. Every year it's like I buy a couple things and then I use it for something and then I put it in a closet. So it's like I've got this studio being built for the last 5 years. And so now I just need to find the space. So I'm like, well, maybe the videos for this channel will be like practice. It'll get my feet wet with filming and producing and editing. And I'll be ready, right? The studio will be ready by the time I need it for the next thing. Just some thoughts, right? It's kind of thinking, well, that sounds logical. Instead of like trying to jump into something that I'm not ready for. I'm not ready for it because I'm not even licensed yet, right? So I have to slow my roll because this is super obvious. This one was obvious. That like slow it, Heather. Slow it down. So you have to contain yourself a little bit. Now, unless you have a bunch of ideas that are flowing in that moment that you are able to do. You know what I mean? Like if you're excited and you get this next idea, then that's awesome. But a lot of us just want to get to the end point. We just want to jump all in, figure it out, and get it done now. My old coach used to do this, and a couple coaches used to do this, and she started teaching on it. And I'm like, then I learned from Abraham, don't do that because you're filling in the grid with your own ideas and your own whatever. So allow things to fill in. Allow it to fill in. The universe will fill it in and make this super easy for you. All you have to do is get into alignment. Feel good, meditate, visualize, feel good, have fun, go on vacation. Even if it's a mental vacation, guys, a staycation on your couch. Say, today I'm taking the day off. You can say you're taking the day off, feel that relief, have like an hour of feeling good because you took the day off. And I promise you're going to feel inspired to do something because you're not going to want to take the whole day off. Occasionally you might. Yeah, for sure. But there's, once you release that resistance, any way that you can, even if you're just telling yourself that you're on vacation for a day, release the resistance. And then you're going to start getting inspiration again. It works like a charm. Okay. So, let me continue on. We are connected energetically. I've never made a rule to have sales calls, so I never had to do them. Everything else complicates it all. All the sales stuff you are learning out there is completely complicating, making things easy for you. I don't even know if that's proper grammar. Basically, I know you want things to be easier for you. So you allow it to be easy. Believe that it can be easy. Find some things in your life that have come easily. And you're like, holy crap, how the hell did I do that? I didn't even have to do anything. Think of those things, because you're going to get more. You're going to get a lot of those. And then one day you're just going to expect things to be easy because things have been easy. Like the big things, the things that we consider to be big. Once you start attracting like really big things that we think are big, right? Easily. You're like, holy crap, for real? Like all these lunatics out there are telling us that everything's so freaking hard. And I'm sitting over here on vacation manifesting like crazy. Seriously. It's so amazing. Okay. I'm going to let you go because I need to go to bed. I need to grab some water. It's about 11:15 p.m. And yeah. So have an amazing rest of your Wednesday and I'll be back tomorrow. Bye guys.